So today I want to show you how to do the magic loop technique. If you've ever wrestled with double pointed needles, knitting small things in the round, socks, sleeves, the crown of a hat, I'm totally with you. I really don't like using DPNs, so I've always used the magic loop instead. It's a really straightforward technique that lets you use just one circular needle for everything. I'm going to walk you through the basic technique and then I'll share 4 top tips to keep your work really tidy so you don't get that annoying laddering where the cable joins the needle. Let's go. So the first thing that you need is a long circular needle, and I usually use a needle that's about 120 centimetres from tip to tip. You'll also need a beginning of round stitch marker to keep track of the beginning of your round, and then just cast on your stitches. So we've got our cast on along our needle now, and we're just going to push that cast on along onto the central part of our cable. So it's sitting at about the halfway point. And then using the cable, we're going to make a loop, and with our cast on the left here. And then all you need to do is squeeze that loop down and separate the stitches. Now your pattern might call for a certain number of stitches on needle 1 and needle 2, in which case you need to count them. But otherwise you can just estimate about 50-50. Pull them along the cable so that the knitting isn't being stretched. You can see here I've got my cast on, but I've got my wrong side edge showing. So you can just flip your cast on over on your cables so that then you get the right side showing. So I've got my working yarn at the back, and on this cable I've got the front of my cast on, and then I'm ready to work. So I'm going to work with this working yarn those stitches first. So I'm going to put these stitches onto the needle. Now, the sharp-eyed amongst you will notice that I actually use interchangeable needles, and I use 2 different ones. I use a wooden one that I put the stitches on, and I'm always working then with the metal needle tip. So I've zoomed in a little bit so you can see really carefully. Here's the front of my cast on, and these are the stitches I'm going to work. And you're obviously going to go in the round. So at the back here, you should also have the front of your cast on, so that when we work around our circuit, we've got the right surface showing. So here you can see it zoomed out. You can see the cable forms a loop on either side of your knitting, and they should be roughly even. And that's where the name comes from, magic loop. And up close now, what we want to do is take this working yarn between our needles and up to the top if we're going to make the first stitch as a knit stitch, and I even hold it there. Don't have it behind your needle here, it must be between your needles. So this is the first stitch, so squeeze your cable and needle tightly together and then simply insert your needle into the first stitch and knit it. Now, for this very first stitch, we are going to give a little bit of a tug on our yarn to tighten down any gap, but this is the only time we'll be doing it. Then simply knit along your stitches along your needle until you come to the last few stitches. And it's important here for the last few stitches to not create a ladder at the end of your work. And one way is to keep these stitches the correct size. So when you insert your needle into your stitch, try and stay to the tips. When you put it fully in, you're stretching that stitch. So try and stay on the tips of your needles, especially for these last few stitches. And that'll keep the end of your work close to the join point really tidy. So once you've finished working that whole needle, then you're halfway around. So these are the stitches that I've worked, and these ones I want to work next. So what I'm going to do is push everything onto the cables a little bit just to secure it so it doesn't all shoot off. Then I'm going to turn over my work and I'm going to feed the stitches that I want to work onto my needle. Remember, I'm always working off the wooden needle using the metal needle. So you can see that your working yarn's at the back here, and so those are the stitches you worked, and then pull that needle out so that you can start working your second part of your stitches, your needle 2. And so have your working yarn, remember, between the needles and held up towards the top of your work to avoid any problems, and then simply go for your first stitch here again. And this time we're going to squeeze our cable and our needle nice and tightly together so that we can minimise that gap between the cable and the needle so that you don't get a ladder. And we're going to use the tips of our needle to work into that first stitch. But at this point, we're not going to tighten. We're going to work the next stitch first, and then we're going to tighten. So this is the time to pull down a bit. And the reason is you don't want to be robbing too much yarn from the stitches on your cable. You want to tighten your joint down a little bit, but if you overdo it and rob yarn from several stitches, then you'll end up with an obvious join. So just go steady at this point, and the best way to do it is to tighten after the second stitch. Then just work along your needle again to your last few stitches and make sure that you're working those on the very tips of your needles, and that keeps them the right tension close up to your join so it looks really tidy again. So that's us having completed one round of our knitting. Now, what you will notice is as you look at your work, you've knitted around and it's nice and even, but what you'll see is here at the very start of the round, you've got this big piece of yarn. It's completely normal. Don't worry about this too much. It shouldn't be too big, but it'll be 1 to 2 centimetres. And it's purely because the yarn is being robbed from the stitches here as the needle and the cable are being stretched apart a little. And as you make more rounds, it'll support itself and it'll just completely disappear. I'll show you that at the end. So then simply arrange your stitches again so that the ones you want to work are at the front, and you've got your working yarn between your needles and up at the top, and you've pulled out a needle to work with, and then simply work your second round. So into the first stitch with your needles, squeezing your cable and your needle tip together, and then work your first stitch, and then don't tighten your work at this point. Work onto your second stitch first, and then you can tighten down your yarn a bit to remove any gap there between the needle and the cable. Then again, you're just going to work along your needle to the last few stitches that you're going to make sure you work on the very tips of your needles. There we have it. So that's how we're going to work this small circumference in the round. So turn our work over again and rearrange the stitches. There's my working yarn. I can just push my new needle in, but I like to pull the needle I've just worked with out a bit first to stop those stitches shooting off the needle. So make sure you're holding onto your knitting as you're doing this pushing and pulling of needles. So let's talk about yarn placement. So if you have your yarn between your needles at the bottom, then you put your working needle on top of the yarn. If you then pick the yarn from underneath and work your first stitch, you create a yarn over. So you can see I've got 2 stitches on my needle when I've only worked 1. If you put it at the bottom and then you start working your first stitch and pick it from the middle and work your stitch, that's fine. You haven't created any yarn overs, but what happens is your yarn gets caught in your loop and it's kind of irritating, if I'm honest. If you're consistent and keep your yarn at the top of your work between your needles, then you start working and what you have is no additional stitches and your yarn is not caught up in your loop. That's just a little tip to make life a bit easier. So now we've got the basics, I want to give you 4 more tips to prevent laddering where the join is. Looking at my work here, you can see that there's no laddering and the stitches on either side of the join are pretty even and just look like continuous knitting. My first tip is the length of the cable. If your loop causes your knitting to stretch like this, it's too short. What you want to be able to do is have your loop long enough so that it crosses over a little bit and doesn't pull on your knitting at the end here. So you need to have a long enough cable to prevent that. My second tip is the first stitch on either cable. If you can possibly keep this a knit stitch and your pattern allows, then do so. And that's because the knit stitch is the easiest to work and it creates the smallest gap between the cable and the needle. If you have to work a purl stitch, it works quite differently. So in this case, we hold the yarn at the bottom of the work, as you can see I'm doing here. Place your needle on top of the yarn, insert your needle as if to purl, and then pick from under the needle to create your purl stitch, so that you're not creating a yarn over there and you just got one stitch and you don't have your yarn inside your loop either. So you can start with a purl stitch, and I'm going to start this with 2 purl stitches just to demonstrate, but it does leave a slightly bigger gap between your cable and your needle, even if you snug the yarn down nicely. So if you possibly can, start with a knit stitch to avoid this gap. Tip 3 is about your last stitches. It's okay if these final stitches are purl stitches, but what you should try and avoid is special stitches such as the knit 2 together. I'll show you why. You can see as I knit 2 together, I'm pulling on those stitches and lengthening them. And then when I've finished working them, you can see that they're a little bit baggy, and that really doesn't help if it's right by the join between your needles. So try and avoid any special stitches. So my final tip is to move the join along by a few stitches. So make this enough stitches to make it worthwhile. So 1 stitch isn't really useful. I'm choosing for my work 4 stitches. And that's quite a good number of stitches to choose. So just as you normally would, start working across your front needle, but stop after 4 stitches and pull your cable through. And what you've done is you've added 4 stitches on and moved your join from here to here. So then what you need to do is complete working across needle 1 so that you can add 4 stitches onto needle 1, because remember you've removed 4 and put them on the back cable. So get to your join. You can see here I've got 2 purls and 2 knits. The purls are just from when I was demonstrating earlier, and I'm going to take those 4 stitches and put them onto my needle. You have to work them just in the normal way, but this is actually my beginning of round, so what I want to do is keep track of it. So I'm going to insert a beginning of round marker, so that even though I move my join, I'll know where it is. As you then knit across this gap, keep your working yarn at the top to avoid catching in your cable. If you have your yarn at the bottom of your work, you risk catching under your cable, and I'm going to demonstrate. So I've brought my yarn down, and now I'm going to work those 4 stitches across and pull through my needle. And what you can see is I've managed to trap my yarn between my cable and the stitches. So if you hold your yarn up to the top, you can completely avoid this. Knit across your 4 stitches and then pull your needle through to put them onto your cable. And then you've successfully moved along by 4 stitches on each needle, and that helps to disguise any laddering or unevenness. So you can see here I've knitted a few rounds, and that long strand of yarn between the needles that we saw in round 1, that's just completely disappeared. It's blended right in as the yarn's been taken back into the stitches as you've worked. And just to say, in this video, although I've worked just using the knit stitch, it works exactly the same if you were to do ribbing or pattern work. Just keep to the 4 tips I've given you and you'll get the tidy, ladder-free result every time. Happy knitting!